Hello and welcome into this mode. This is the greatest show of the week as per usual. This is the A show. This is ECW. We are overseas because why not? On the final show before Heatwave, let's take a little visit to Frankfurt, Germany ahead of this huge night, of course, as every night is when ECW rolls into town. But tonight, the key focus is on the monumental main event in place. That is right. Later on tonight, we are going to witness Austin Aries, one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions, of course, Samoa Joe, and the soon-to-be irrelevant Diamond Dallas Page square off against the Wyatt family of Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black. And as you can see there, the ECW champion, the almighty architect, that is Seth Rollins. That is going to be one hell of a main event. We may see a foreshadowing to Heatwave take place in some of the matches, but maybe not. I'll tell you one thing we are going to witness right now. We're going to kick things off with a tag team matchup in which the four Horsemen are going to take on Dean Ambrose and Bobby Roode. What I think makes this this opening tag match so interesting is the fact that this is, a case of tag team versus two people who don't like one another. While Corbin has made it apparent on a vast number of occasions that he is not an honorary horseman, he cares more about himself than what he does the Horsemen. But when it comes to Horseman business, he will be the first one to get himself involved should their opponents take it too far. But on the other side of things, you've got Ambrose and Roode, two men who don't really care about others, but in completely separate ways. You've got Ambrose who doesn't care about people because he's completely off his teeth, basically, and he's a complete lunatic. And then you've got Roode, who obviously doesn't care about people because he's the glorious one, and he has no need to care about people because he believes he is above everyone else. And what makes this one interesting, of course, as well, as if you've been following ECW over the last few weeks, you would know that Ambrose, Corbin, and Roode are set to meet one another in a triple threat match at Heatwave. And I would like to commend the person in the comments who suggested this matchup. This matchup makes incredible sense, and it helps to make ECW an even greater brand by finally integrating Roderick Strong into something worthwhile for both himself, the Four Horsemen, and of course Baron Corbin. But Dean Ambrose will be looking to make sure that he can continue on the momentum from last week. Of course, if you saw last week's episode as well, Ambrose successfully defeated, nice back there, Roderick Strong. Ambrose successfully defeated Corbin in a one-on-one matchup. Did it with relative ease, it has to be said, which was a bit surprising. I believe then, though, at the end of it, no, this man had no part to play in it. Instead, he just chose to speak a few words and then leave. Before the matchup began, Bobby Roode heading into Heatwave with a boatload of confidence. Absolutely just confidence basically flying out from everywhere for Bobby Roode. And we all know why, because even in Germany, the people love to chant just how glorious Bobby Roode is. I say it time and time again, it's contagious. You can't stop yourself. You sing it once, you want to sing it again and again and again and again, and eventually you realize, oh, I'm actually just a fan of Bobby Roode, which you should be, to be fair, because the glorious one, just like Seth Rollins, is helping to save ECW, to cleanse its impurities, and to make it the brand to be. And currently, of course, it is the brand everyone else wants to be. ECW, the it brand, the #1 show, the ratings victor on time after time after time. And of course, with a pay-per-view coming up this weekend, we have every reason to be confident in ourselves. We have every reason to just think, yeah, everything's going well, we don't need to change a thing. So I think everything's just fine. That being said, finally we're going to get into this tag team matchup now. Roddy Strong going to start things off with the television champion. Will Ambrose and Roode work together? That's what we're about to find out. Tag match underway here. Roddy and Ambrose is a very interesting way to start it. Both men, have their... Well, they're both liked by the crowd, of course. They both have They both get good cheers when they're involved, and they both kind of have a little bit of respect for one another. Probably more so Roddy having respect for the principles of professional wrestling, as opposed to Ambrose just being a lunatic who just thinks, I can attack this person like how, like how I want to attack anyone else. Good counter there by Dean Ambrose. Another strong counter there by Roddy Strong. How will Roddy look to take part in this? Oh, nice work there into the side headlock there. Ambrose might be in trouble. Roddy looking like he's going to bring him up here. And, oh, tight clinch there into a knee in the head. That was well worked out there by Roddy Strong. And now the four horsemen can perhaps take control here. If Roddy's able to secure a win here tonight over the television champion, he may find himself being a future contender in line. However, that would be awkward if Corbin was to win the television championship a few days from now at Heatwave. Speaking of Corbin, up high on that top rope. Baron Corbin there getting involved. The Lone Wolf now tagged in. One of the hottest prospects that ECW has to offer. Showing just why as he goes toe-to-toe right now with the former world champion that Dean Ambrose is. And the current, of course, television champion that Dean Ambrose is as well. Ambrose did a good job there to fight out of that and went for an Irish whip. And if you look, he angled it just so he wouldn't go towards the corner. Not wanting to let Roode in this matchup just yet. Wanted to hit that neck breaker, and there is a tag made. Glorious one in right now, but Ambrose looking to make life a little bit awkward for Roode by making him wait in line as Corbin takes down... Oh! Takes down Ambrose and then effectively takes down Roode in the corner. Good start here by Corbin, and the Lone Wolf showing that he is, he's got problems with both men. And they're just kind of in the way of that goal that Baron Corbin wants to lift. Baron Corbin, speaking of lifting, possessing incredible strength there as he hits his kind of customized Falcon Arrow, I suppose. I don't really know what the correct word to use for it is, but... He's looking very strong right now. Good counter there by Roode. Running neck breaker once more. Not too sure about Bobby Roode. There you go. That might be a decision better decision by Bobby Roode, trying to trap a nerve there in the shoulder of Baron Corbin. Take away the arm, the vital arm strength that he possesses. And then use it, of course, to stop the end of days being hit. Good dodge, though, by Baron Corbin off the ropes. Oh! Timed that big boot very well, and there's tag team chemistry demonstrated full force there. Roddy wanted the tag in, and immediately was gifted it by Baron Corbin now. Strong in against Roode. Both men very technically sound, of course, and this should be a very entertaining one to watch. Roddy Strong there, catching Bobby Roode in the back of the head there with that Shining Wizard. Got to give credit to the Four Horsemen. They've really so far shut down the performances of Roode and Ambrose, limiting what they've been able to execute within that ring. What is Roddy Strong going to do here? This is looking dangerous. Fall away slam there by Roddy. Did you see the bounce as well that came with it? Roddy Strong, incredible strength there to execute that on Bobby Roode. And now the master of the backbreaker going to go for just that. Fireman's carry backbreaker, down goes Bobby Roode, but it's only temporary. The glorious one quick to fight back. What will Roode look for here? Roode gonna move in. Nice T-bone suplex there by Roode, who I think needs to make the tag here into Ambrose. He does so. You can say, oh, they're making tags, that's good chemistry, but there's a difference between just making tags and doing something with the tag team, like I think we're about to see here. Roddy sends him in the corner, quick tag made. It's going to be that suplex cross body combo again, but it's still a tag team move, whereas Ambrose, oh, double kicks there, whereas Ambrose and Roode are just tagging each other in, just so one can take a bit of a beating, and then the other one can, and then, it follows up with the other one taking the beating then. Strong and Corbin have dominated this matchup thus far. Ambrose and Roode have been able to get in bits and pieces of offense, but it's been minute compared to what these two men have been able to get in. Corbin there with a big strike. You can see it's left a mark there on the cheek of Ambrose, and finally Ambrose getting some fight in him. Suplex, so it was a floating suplex neck breaker, something along those lines, and now Dean Ambrose will look to unload here. The lunatic needing to get those shots in if he wants to head in to Heatwave with a bit of momentum, and of course with it being a triple threat match, Dean Ambrose can't rely on any champion's advantage should he choose to try and utilize that. Of course, going to be no DQ, no countouts, and he doesn't even have to be pinned to lose his title. Roode could pin Corbin, Corbin could pin Roode. All of those will, of course, result in a new ECW television champion. Great timing there by Corbin into the deep six. And Corbin tagging out. Great moment there for Corbin to have some offense, to have some incredible momentum with a pinfall win over the champion. Bouncing back from last week, but decides instead Roddy can have the opportunity. That may have backfired though. Powerbomb by Ambrose. Desperately needs to make the tag right now, but Ambrose getting a little bit self-minded in the moment, and he may pay for it. Tiger bomb there by Strong. Oh Jesus, that was unexpected. Strong now in position. The television champion in huge trouble. Roddy Strong propped up. Suplex backbreaker. Strong as the champion floored. Referee in for the cover. Corbin keeps Roode down, and it's a win for the Horsemen. The 4 Horsemen are your winners. But more importantly than that, Roderick Strong pins the ECW television champion. Should Ambrose retain at Heatwave, we may have a new #1 contender heading towards Money in the Bank. Very, very strong job there, pun intended, by the 4 Horsemen. Corbin almost controlling traffic, and just that selflessness by Corbin there, that showed his respect, I think, for the Horsemen. Showed how highly he holds the 4 Horsemen in his heart, giving the win there to Roderick Strong, who might end up with a future championship opportunity down the line. Great, very interesting to see that there by Corbin to tag in Strong. But meanwhile, it was, you know, the belief was reflected. Tag teams do a hell of a lot better than 2 good athletes just randomly teamed together. You could see Roode had only his own self-interest in that matchup, and I think Ambrose had the same, and that's what cost him there. We'll see what's going to happen when it comes to Heatwave, whether or not Ambrose will be able to stop that pin being occurred on him, and he can walk out still ECW television champion. But right now we're going to move on to our next contest. It is going to be Gregory Helms taking on the Cruiserweight champion, Suicide. This is a this opportunity, a huge one for Gregory Helms, really. Last week he came close to becoming #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. He wasn't pinned, of course, in the final decision, so that makes things a little bit better for him in that aspect. But here tonight, of course, he's going to have to go up against the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic, the current Cruiserweight Champion, and the man who is set to have a rematch against Dean Malenko for the Cruiserweight Championship in just a few days at ECW Heatwave. The Cruiserweight division getting stronger and stronger, really, as time goes on. And I promise you, when I say that as time goes on, the Cruiserweight division will be as big of a division as the women's division has become, of course, on the other rosters. I think it's still a little bit lacking behind right now, and there still needs to be some adjustments that needs to be made, but I promise you that we will adjust that, we'll fix it, everything will be well and good, and we'll have a strong division coming up for you in the very near future. But here we go as Helms waits in the ring. It's the arrival of the Cruiserweight champ. Since winning that championship, this man has been near enough unstoppable. Suicide, with that look, that mask, just a very creepy look. You can't even see the eyes of that man behind that mask, behind that suit, which just makes it all the more weird, I suppose. And when he heads towards the ring, here comes Suicide, though. He is going to be in for a tough matchup, I think, at this pay-per-view against Malenko. He may have defeated him once, but Malenko is a tough challenge for whoever chooses to get in his way. The man of 1,000 holds can endure a hell of a lot of punishment. However, Suicide, certainly perhaps from his backstory, has endured punishment all of his life. And whatever Dean Malenko can throw at him is almost secondary. What can be produced, what has been produced, I should say, rather, throughout Suicide's life. The way he just walks towards that ring, no emotion, no reaction, just a simple walk towards the ring. Everything's so mechanic, really. He sets his eyes on the steps and then walks towards the steps. When that bell rings and it gets in the ring, Suicide is a dangerous, dangerous opponent for anyone to face off against. He had one of the worst records. He didn't have a win to his name when he joined that Cruiserweight tournament. When he joined the Cruiserweight Classic, I assumed he was just going to be a joke. It was going to be kicked out of the door almost as quickly as he walked in, but that wasn't the case. Suicide lasted through all of the talent, got to the finals in a really entertaining matchup against Ricochet, and went through him to win the Cruiserweight Classic. Of course, he got that opportunity at the Cruiserweight belt, but it was rather unfair because Akira Tozawa at the time had been completely demolished by the Authors of Pain just a few short days before that matchup took place. And whenever Tozawa returns from his injuries, which I'm hoping is soon, because he did receive a serious knock, but he should be getting better as time has gone on. Hopefully we'll hear from Tozawa soon, but if that's the case, then I will be glad to see a rematch between those two sides to determine who is truly the better cruiserweight of the two. Good, stalemate there reached between both men, and a great counter there by Suicide, hip toss, and down goes Gregory Helms temporarily. Suicide allowing him to get back up to his feet, a little bit of respect showing. Oh, kick in the head. Gregory Helms now unveiling his back. Russian leg sweep by the Cruiserweight Champion. Got to use this match to try and send some message to Malenko. First time we've seen Suicide actually on this brand in a few weeks. Most of the focus, to be fair, on the Cruiserweight division has been going to Neville as of late. Man who we will be seeing in action later on tonight, taking on Chris Jericho one-on-one, which I'm very hyped for. Two incredible wrestlers there going at it. Look at these strikes here by Suicide, just unloading away on Helms as if he's nothing. That's what makes the Cruiserweight Champion so dangerous. Just look at the size difference as well. You'd swear that is not a Cruiserweight in that suit. Look at how just wild he is. Complete insanity being possessed by Suicide. Head-butting the turnbuckle as he awaited Helms to get back up to his feet. Helms now back up, has him up, and ProJaked Ciampa there. Perhaps a little bit of a dig at Tommaso Ciampa, the man who was pinned in that fatal four-way last week. Who else was involved in that matchup? There was, of course, Helms, Malenko, Ciampa, and... I'm trying to remember the other guy. Oh, Neville, of course. That probably makes sense, thinking about it. Suicide now with with Helms up on his shoulders. Fireman's carry, Pele kick. Helms goes down and looked deeply confused by it as well, almost. And once more, oh no, not this time. Suicide's just going to have a little bit of a taunt in the corner. Get this crowd on his side. That may not have been the best idea because Helms has been able to fight back here. Suicide just a complete bunch of emotions really bundled into one person and just ready to explode at any time, and that is what we're kind of being presented with right now. Great work there by Helms to play possum. Hurricanrana, and down goes the Cruiserweight Champion. Can Helms take advantage of the situation here? If Helms could get a win here over Suicide, that would be huge for him. Really stake his claim as a potential Cruiserweight challenger. Helms is he was gonna fly there, but he took a little bit too long. Suicide able to get out of the way there, or get back up to his feet, I should say, rather. Irish whip up in the air, and oh, good God, what a cutter! What a cutter there to Helms. Flat out in the middle of the ring, covered by Suicide, and oh, Helms is able to get the shoulder up at two. I was not anticipating that in the slightest by Suicide, who's now unloading with these leg drops. Akin to Becky Lynch over on Raw, really. Suicide now, gonna go up high. What will we see here? What a headbutt! Great clearance there as well to get that far. Helms is really in a boatload of trouble right now in this matchup. Just almost bested at every single corner possible. But he's still trying to fight back here, much to the chagrin, I imagine, of the Cruiserweight Champion. Helms now going to load up some kind of neck breaker here. Cross-arm neck breaker. Down goes Suicide. Great opportunity just opened up there for Helms. He still thinks so. He's got to do a lot more if he wants to get that win. Suicide now with the Hurricanrana. Good God almighty. There's just no break in this matchup, really. Suicide with the much more dangerous moves. But Helms is being able to stay in it an awful lot here. Very surprising, kind of contradicting what I said a moment ago where Suicide's in complete control of this one. But with reversals like that, it is safe to say that Suicide is really perceiving himself to be in control of this one. Got the leg hook there and shoulder breaker. Shin breaker, even dragon screw combo. Helms down now. And what? Oh, here we go. We're in the corner. This is going to be painful. A lot of people have endured this move. Running knee in the face. Helms busted wide open by it. Cover by Suicide. This should do it. Game over. The Cruiserweight Champion is victorious and leaves his mark as well on Gregory Helms. Perhaps a warning message being sent to the challenger, of course. That is Dean Malenko. Malenko going to be training, watching this one at home, studying the tape, and trying to find a way to analyze how Suicide will act. Certainly a matter that is easier said than done when it comes to this deranged man. However, the Cruiserweight Champion proving he is just as destructive as ever. And it's really difficult to read Suicide, something that is going to frustrate Malenko and may result in the title staying around the waist of this man right here. But coming up next, we are going to see the other half of the ECW Tag Team Champions, Curtis Axel, in action. Axel demanded a big challenge heading into their tag team matchup against the Wyatt family, so I have provided him with that challenge that he wanted. Coming up next, Curtis Axel will take on the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. So, of course, with Axel's tag team partner, I just confused myself there. With Axel's tag team partner, Austin Aries, preoccupied with the main event. Aries is, oh wow, I'm all over the place with names right now. Axel is going to come out alone in this one. The self-proclaimed second greatest man that ever lived, and AJ Styles is not interested in any of that. Getting the jump there on Curtis Axel. AJ Styles perhaps frustrated with his position here on ECW and how he's failed to make too much of an impact since arriving on this show. Maybe that loss to Aleister Black last week certainly reaching a boiling point within AJ Styles. The crowd here in Germany, though, certainly happy to see him as he takes sends a strong beating there down onto Curtis Axel. Axel missing that dropkick, something terribly there. Good reversal there, but it's Styles in control, forcing Axel to land on the concrete there as we head towards the ring. This matchup looks like it will be getting underway. Referee even asking them, what the hell was Styles thinking there? What was up with Styles? And Axel now responding in his own accord. Maybe not. Nice quick arm drag though by the phenomenal one. As I said, that loss last week to Aleister Black really may have lit a fire under AJ Styles and just made him reach his boiling point. It was a quick loss as well. I think that's what made it all the more worse for AJ Styles. And look at him there. He is demanding that Curtis Axel get up to his feet so he can continue this match on. Axel playing possum on the outside there. The three-time ECW Tag Team Champion sending the former world champion back in the ring. Styles, quick to counter as well, though. This was the challenge that Axel wanted. He's certainly struggling thus far. However, it's a strong challenge in the same right as well, because in every way, shape and form, AJ Styles is one pissed off man right now. And there's the Fireman's Carry neck breaker by Styles. Axel completely unable to stop this right now. AJ Styles, that is very close. If Styles is going to look for the phenomenal forearm, I'd suggest against it. AJ Styles, he misses it. That may brew more frustration within AJ Styles right now. Back suplex into a facebuster. Now Styles, that's in a good length to go for it. AJ Styles, his boiling point being reached, and Curtis Axel unable to stop any of this. Phenomenal forearm. Cracking Axel in the face. Take a look at this here. Caught him right there. Down goes Axel. And one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions may have lost this match before it was even begun. Cover by Styles for 1, 2, and 3. Good God almighty. Did AJ Styles just walk through Curtis Axel for that win? I am stunned. Very stunned there, but the crowd on their feet. And AJ Styles kind of soaking in the reaction of the crowd. Perhaps this boiling point and this frustration being reached in Styles' mind between both himself and those who cheer his name. But maybe AJ Styles, if you got more wins from time to time, we wouldn't have this situation where you'd be deeply frustrated with yourself. Nevertheless, AJ Styles celebrates his victory here in Germany. What will this mean heading into a heat wave? I think I may have something in mind for AJ Styles. Maybe so. Maybe. We'll just have to wait for the pay-per-view and find out, which of course I all know you're going to be tuning into anyway, because why would you want to miss Seth Rollins? Why would you want to miss an ECW pay-per-view? Exactly. Speaking of Seth Rollins, by the way, I forgot to mention it. We are going to hear from that man. We are going to hear from the ECW champion some final words before ECW Heatwave. Seth Rollins, the man, is going to speak his mind right about now. Here he is, your ECW champion in Germany, and look at the smile on his face here to see all the ECW fans, all here, of course, united behind Seth Rollins ahead of Heatwave, where once and for all, Diamond Dallas Page will be exterminated from the minds of everyone and finally be rid from ECW for good. Rollins here stating he is sick and tired of talking about this man, and I totally agree with you, Rollins. I've had enough of the name Diamond Dallas Page as well. Just how obnoxious it is, the fact he thinks he's a diamond just kind of says it all. Seth Rollins is just, like me, he's not reached his boiling point, he's just had enough. Rollins choosing not to talk about that man, choosing not to talk about Page, but rather how ECW is shaping up on the road beyond Heatwave and into SummerSlam. He knows that ECW already can main event SummerSlam, Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, even if they don't win the Royal Rumble. ECW is the place to be, and that is thanks to Seth Rollins. And Rollins finishing his statement off there. Some men can claim false promises, such as someone who he doesn't even want to name anymore, but Seth Rollins speaks the truth, and Seth Rollins' actions are that of the truth. Rollins is here for one reason, to redesign, rebuild and reclaim ECW, and after Heatwave is out of sight, after it is beyond Seth Rollins and everyone's eyesight, then and only then will you be able to see just how much Seth Rollins has saved this brand, and then will you start to give your thanks to this man right here. If not for Rollins, ECW wouldn't exist anymore. And apparently we're going to the back. Something's going on here. There's Neville and Jericho creating some kind of commotion here between one another. Neville getting the jump for whatever reason backstage on Jericho and sending him right into the locker room here. I have no idea what Neville's problem is with Jericho. These two men were about to have a one-on-one match with each other, and all of a sudden Neville's just decided to hell with that and has got the jump on Jericho. Head first into that TV monitor, and what is Neville going to do here? Jericho stunned, and Neville, oh good God! Breaking the TV and sending an electrical surge through the body of Chris Jericho. Neville looks almost proud of what he just did, and he's not done yet. Come on, Neville. There is no need for this whatsoever, but Neville seems to think there is. Through the table for Jericho as well. Neville, proud of what he did, and he's just walking off now. A job well done. What has happened to Neville? I have no idea how to react to what I just saw taking place backstage. Y2J getting jumped by Neville. Neville's attitude as of late significantly changing on ECW, and we see it taking full force right there. with that attack there on Chris Jericho. You know what? I don't usually force myself to make decisions on the fly, but I feel as if this is something I'm gonna have to do at, you know, in a few days from now. At I forgot the name of the pay-per-view. At Heatwave, there we go. Chris Jericho will face Neville in a one-on-one match between those two men. Clearly, there's some kind of issue between him that Neville has with Jericho. We're gonna look to sort that one out on that night, but right now it is 6-man tag team action. One half of the World Tag Team Champion, the ECW Tag Team Champions, my apologies, Austin Aries, heading into the ring here. He has witnessed already his tag team partner Curtis Axel suffer a significant defeat at the hands of AJ Styles already, and he's gonna have to look to try and turn that around for his team here, give him some momentum heading into a night where their backs are 100% up against the wall, where they are at a significant weakness when it comes to their opponents, being one of them in the match right now, Bray Wyatt, and the man who is of course not here tonight for whatever reason. I don't know what the Wyatt family anymore, but of course that is Braun Strowman. But here comes the man who is just days away from getting his hands on the man who cost him a win over Braun Strowman, a man a man who's been waiting patiently now and has finally reached the last few days until he can get his hands on Aleister Black. Samoa Joe heads towards the ring, ready to inflict pain and punishment onto Aleister Black. This has been one of those long-standing build-ups. This has been one of those build-ups that has gone by week, and just the hype has continued to grow. And now here tonight, it reaches the boiling point, and then at Heatwave, the lid will fly off the pan, it'll crash through the ceiling, and these two men will let smoke fly all over the place when they go toe-to-toe, no holds barred, once more. This one has to be settled, and there is no way a pure wrestling match is going to be able to decide that. Ugh. Here he comes. Here he is. That stupid theme. That stupid South High Five bollocks. Diamond Dallas Page comes towards the ring, just days away from once more failing himself and himself alone, and all these idiotic people in the crowd who claim to think that Diamond Dallas Page is the righteous way to go forward. Well, at Heatwave, the righteous way, when in reality, the dictatorship that Diamond Dallas Page supports and leads will be brought to an almighty end and will finally be buried in the grave that Diamond Dallas Page was too stubborn to lay in after WrestleMania. Page, we have said time and time again, welcome to your deathbed, where we have found not only your pastors, but also your executioner, and they're all in this matchup right here, right now. Look at how many Fireflies are out here in Germany for the arrival of Wyatt and Aleister Black. Black from, not from far away, of course, in the Netherlands, but, I mean, this is one hell of an arrival for these two men. The lamp leading Black down him from behind. And right now, Aleister Black's eyes are locked onto glaring at Samoa Joe. It may look like a dead look in the sight of Aleister Black, but we know that's not the case. Aleister Black here is determined, I would assume, to get his hands on Samoa Joe. Wyatt last week refused to talk about whether or not this man was calm and ready for Heatwave. And I think tonight is going to be a key demonstration of that, when the Wyatt family are in this matchup. Bray looking to send a message to Aries. Black looking to send that message to Joe. Rollins looking to further embarrass Diamond Dallas Page, and that namesake has already committed through the months of fraudulent activities he has committed on this brand. But you can just tell Wyatt and Black just seem to have that look of confidence to them right now. There seems to be little that can go wrong for these two men. And perhaps Heatwave will be a perfect illustration of that. Can the Wyatt family bring home tag team titles? And can Aleister Black put Samoa Joe behind him and focus on his future within this brand? We will, of course, find out in just a few days from now. But as we can see, this crowd on their feet, they await the arrival of him. Well, here he is. No longer need you be disappointed. No longer need you be sad. Germany, rise up to your feet and welcome forth your ECW champion, our ECW champion, and the man who will hold that crown once more when it's all said and done. And we are through with Heatwave, and we are through with this facade that Diamond Dallas Page is the savior of ECW. That is the savior right there. That is our knight in shining armor. That is our unsung hero. That is the ECW champion, Seth Rollins. And whether Rollins chooses to get involved in this matchup or not is completely irrelevant to me. The fact of the matter is, the work that Rollins has done for so long on this brand, I just cannot let it slide. Rollins doing an absolutely incredible job thus far and continues to put a smile on my face every time I see him in action. Last week against Shawn Michaels was just a little bit of a dent in the road, and tonight here in the six-man tag, that dent will be paved over by the Architect and the Wyatt family. So here we go. It's going to be Aries starting things off against Wyatt in your main event. A little bit of a prelude here to Heatwave going on. Of course, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman will challenge the Dirty Heels. And with how quickly Curtis Axel lost earlier in the night to AJ Styles, that has really got to put something in the mind, really, of Austin Aries. He can't let the same happen to him here. He needs to get that pinfall win if he wants to even stand a remote chance of the Dirty Heels still walking out with those tag team titles that they've held now for, just over 2 months, really. But it's safe to say the reign itself has not been that strong for Aries and Axel. It's come under a little bit of controversy as well, and certainly it reached that when right at the start, really, after their first title defense at One Night Stand, when they were defeated by Authors of Pain, of course, but only by disqualification, meaning that the titles could not change hands. Right now, Wyatt all over Aries, really. Aries got a little bit of moves in, but you'd expect better from the greatest man that ever lived, the Grand Slam champion that he is. But there is the fight back there from Aries. Kick in the head, forearm in the face. Aries not feeling too confident with himself off the start here, makes the tag, and Samoa Joe in here. The leader of the Wyatt family gonna get the clutches here of the man who is set to try and take away a part of his family in Aleister Black. Black gonna be watching on the outside here as Bray Wyatt pummels into Samoa Joe. Joe gonna do the smart thing there and roll out of the ring. Will the tag be made into Black? No, it won't. Wyatt wanted to take on Joe a little bit more there. And now we see these two men fight it out. Good counter there, though, by Wyatt. Same can be said for Joe, though. Bit of back and forth as the crowd's trying to sideband Samoa Joe maybe here. Try to cheer him on. I swear to God, if they're cheering on Diamond Dallas Page, I'm going to be absolutely gobsmacked. I'm going to be ridiculed by this crowd if they decide to cheer on Page. In the corner here, flying forearm shot by Samoa Joe. Very nicely executed as well. And now Wyatt looking in a bit of trouble here. Joe going to send him into the turnbuckle. Will we see? Oh, it's going to be Rollins to tag himself in. The ECW champion wanting in right away there. I think Black wanted to go for it, but Rollins beat him to the punch. Oh, wait. Here we go. Tag made. Black is in. The prelude can begin to Heatwave, and Joe just leaps into it. Drop kick, and just stomps now, being dropped onto Aleister Black. But look at how calm Black is, though. Quick to counter there. Quick to just pull off a little simple reversal. But Joe might make a mistake for his team here. He might be blinded by revenge and maybe unable to make a tag into anyone. floored Black there after countering that attempted suplex or brainbuster, whatever it was, with Black in his clutches. Now he's going to send him into the turnbuckle. We will see a tag may. Here we go. And the quality of the match has just gone spiraling downhill. Following the tag in here of Diamond Dallas Page. Black there with a great Meteora to send him down to his feet. Or to his knees even, or to his back. That was the one I'm looking for. Page in trouble right now. Black here really wrenching in that chin lock and just succeeding with it right now. Page unable to get out of it, which is it's just great to watch. Oh, I think I jinxed myself. Page getting up to his stupid feet, and he's found a reversal within him somehow. Page out of that one, misses the big boot, but counters whatever Black was looking for there from behind. And now it's Page's turn to go after it. Diamond Dallas Page countered there. Yes. Beautiful work. And German suplex. Great stuff there by Aleister Black. And here we go. Black now setting in that reverse dragon sleeper on Page. Look at that back just bending back in the way it is. Complete calamity. But Aries was able to break up that submission there. And look at Rollins there getting in a stomp. They're all going after Page. Go on, all of you. Just hit him. Crucifix there by Black. Will Black get a win over the former ECW champion? Great stop by Rollins. Come on, ref. Absolutely ridiculous there by the referee. Such a chance there to make that count, and instead he's deciding to run around and play hokey cokey with himself. Page now. No, this can't happen. This can't happen. Page. No. Oh, yes. Black was in the ropes. It's all okay with me then. Black now. Quick counter. Call him square in the face. Black with a kick to the leg. Spinning back face. Look at these moves here. Able to just execute repeated quick strikes there to Page without answer, because Page is a terrible wrestler and he doesn't really know how to respond to easy moves. Thrown in the corner. Will anyone tag themselves in? Wyatt going to tag himself back in here, and quick to counter Page. Oh, sending him down there. Rollins wants in. Here we go. Rollins now going to get to embarrass Page before Heatwave. Look at how easy Rollins just finding this already. Alright, Page somehow finding a reversal, but that's quickly stuffed. And Rollins now, the ECW champion. Spoiling, basically, what is going to transpire at Heatwave. Joe there, for some reason, decided to try and grab thin air. Page somehow... Alright. I'm just able to say alright in response to all that. For some reason, I just went into a complete spasm. Tag mate here. In comes Austin Aries now. Page getting out of the ring because he's scared of Seth Rollins and wants no part to do with him right now. Before ECW Heatwave. What happened there was enough for him to be aware that he stands no chance of Abracadabra. What a move. Rollins now just got a little bit more to do. Just got to turn him over. Alright, that's not turning him over. That's really not turning him over, Rollins. Come on, I expected better there. What will Aries do here? Gonna send him into the corner. Austin Aries in the neutral corner, finding some kind of advantage off the rope here. Oh, discus forearm in the face. This could be a huge problem. Elbow drop by Aries, and it was a gorgeous one of that. What would he look for here? Austin Aries. Is he going to go for the neck breaker? Yes, he is. We know what this is. We've seen it in the past. Aries now will transition in to the last chancery. Aries now with last chancery on Rollins. Come on, Rollins. Get out. Yes. Rollins able to break it up by himself. And Page there with the cheap shot. Disgusting. No need for that. Rollins had just fought out of a submission, and Page there with a cheap shot that had no... That was just completely disrespectful. Northern Light suplex there. Not too sure why Rollins didn't bridge after that one, and Black pushes the referee. Oh, God. There is a whole boatload of calamity going on in this main event, to be fair. Black there breaking that one up before he gets out of the ring, giving Rollins a little bit of breathing room. Black may have assisted Rollins hugely here. Face first in the turnbuckle for the ECW Tag Team Champion. Joe there getting impatient now. Black tagged in. Aries just basically down and out. Aries isn't doing anything here, and now we're going to see it. Double foot stop by Black. Moves into the cover here for 1, 2, and Page breaks it up. God damn it. Actually, hang on, I just forgot. Did you see the referee before that? The referee pushed Seth Rollins onto the floor. I talk about how there's favoritism being shown within the Bullet Club and on Raw, you know, how they're always in trouble, but that was just ridiculous. He full on just threw him onto the floor so he couldn't break up the pin. And now a tag made. Wyatt in, and double shoulder tackle there. Aries in a whole lot of trouble here. Sent on splash. Aries just being picked upon, really, time and time again. Cover being made here. Joe in late. Joe unable to break it up, and it's a win for Rollins. It's a win for the Wyatt family as well. Bray Wyatt pinning Aries. And that is exactly the win that everyone wanted there. Maybe not Seth Rollins, though. Black and Wyatt, they're doing Wyatt family business with that pinfall victory. But Seth Rollins did not get that pinfall over Diamond Dallas Page that he wanted. He did not get that final, the final outcome he wanted, but he did get to embarrass Page enough within the ring that I'd be surprised if Page even bothers to show up to Heatwave when that comes around. Black and Wyatt, though, with a great performance. Samoa Joe hungry, it seems, to get his hands on the man on the right, but there, Rollins just calm and in the moment and ready to defend that ECW Championship. Bray Wyatt perhaps proving that the titles are going to the Wyatt family at Heatwave, and there is nothing Axel or Aries can do to stop it. Bad night for the Dirty Heels, great night for the Wyatt family and Rollins. Certainly seems as if we're going to have a new champion in the Tag Champs, but Rollins is always going to be ECW Champion. That ends this episode, Universe. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.